Hello there, welcome to the next lesson in the advanced course. I'm Andy Nicol, the course tutor for the C1 course, or IELTS 7.5 if you like. And in this lesson, we're going to look at the topic of animals and an animal world. And we're going to look at the following areas: animal parts, animal body parts, as it were, animal homes, and similes with animals. I'll explain a bit more what similes are later. So first of all, we're going to look at animal body parts. So here are the words. I'm going to disappear for a moment and let you look at the bottom of them, okay? And so you're going to see the picture appear and try to identify which animal body part is being shown. Okay, so here we go. First one. So you've got hoof or hooves, plural, horns, tusks, wings, paws, claws, mane, trunk, beak, and tail. Now this is obviously an African male lion, and the fur, the hair around the neck of the lion is the mane. The mane. It's also the hair at the back of the head of a horse as well. It's also called a mane. Okay, second one. The long nose of an elephant. Can you identify it? This is, of course, the trunk, the elephant's trunk. As in the famous song, Nelly the elephant packed her trunk and said goodbye to the circus. Trunk. Okay, here's the third one. These are the feet of a horse. And we also use the same word for cows and goats, etc. And these are hooves. Plural hooves, singular hoof. Next one. Okay, these are the ivory things which come out of the elephant, or also walruses have these as well. Why elephants are endangered, because hunters have been hunting them for years. And these are tusks, elephant tusks. Next one. Okay, we see this cow from, I think it's North America, and these are horns. This is in fact called a longhorn. As you can see, the horns are extremely long, hence the name longhorn. Okay. Next one. Okay, these are what birds use to fly. Also bats have them, although without feathers. And these are called wings, of course. Next one. Okay, this is a bear, tigers, cats, all sorts of animals have these sharp nails on their paws. These are called claws. And the next one, we've got a toucan, a very colourful bird with an enormous beak. Yeah, the mouth of a bird is a beak. And here's the next one. These are obviously a cat, the feet of a cat. And these are the paws. Dogs also have paws, lions, tigers, etc. And lastly, this is of course a tail. Many animals have obviously different types of tails, like crocodiles have tails, etc. Okay, so those are animal parts. Let's look now at some sentences and see if you can complete them with the correct animal part. Okay, well, here we go. The male lion had a beautiful what around its neck? The beak, claws, hoof, horns, mane, or tail, trunk, tusks, or wings? And of course the answer is mane. The eagle spread its something and soared into the air. It spread its, in order to fly, its wings and soared into the air. But 3, the African elephant has much bigger something and a longer something than its Asian or Indian cousin. And the answer is tusks and trunk. It also has significantly bigger ears as well. The bird picked up a worm in its mouth, the mouth of a bird, and flew back to the nest to feed its chicks, the baby birds. And the answer is beak. The mouth of a bird is a beak. My cat got a splinter of wood, a small sharp piece of wood, in its something, and it was howling in pain in its paw, in the foot. The foot of the cat is the paw. Okay. The blacksmith, this is a person who works with metal, traditionally, carefully nailed the horseshoe to the horse's hoof. The hoof, the foot of the horse. Number 7. When I was walking through the field, the bull lowered its something and charged straight at me. It's not true, fortunately. It lowered its horns and charged straight at me. So next one. Wounds, that's injuries inflicted by a leopard's something, require instant treatment. This is because they can have pieces of rotten meat from other dead animals in them and can give you a terrible infection if you don't get them treated immediately. Fortunately, I don't live anywhere near leopards, but some people do, unfortunately. Claws. Number 9. The blue whale has an enormous something which is capable of capsizing a boat, making a boat turn over and possibly sink. Well, at the end of the whale, it's got an enormous tail. Okay, so that's parts of animals. Let's look now at home sweet home. Where do these animals live? So here are, match the animals with their homes. Got a nest, a hive, a kennel, a shed, a stable, a cage, a warren, or a burrow, and a sty. And then we've got a beautiful horse. As you can see, the hair there, the mane of the horse. As I said, lions and horses both have manes. So a horse lives in a stable, cage, warren, sty, nest, hive, a stable. A dog lives in, if it's a domestic dog obviously, in a kennel, the small little houses that you have for dogs. A bee, well, millions of them usually, or thousands of them at least, live together in a hive where they produce their honey and have all their larvae, all the little eggs and so on. Number 4, a rabbit. This is a wild rabbit. Lives in a warren or a burrow. A domestic rabbit would live in what we call a hutch, H-U-T-C-H, hutch. A bird tends to live, again, we're talking about a wild bird, not a domestic bird, lives in a nest where it lays its eggs. Okay, number 6, a pig lives in a sty. The term a pigsty is often used to refer to a place that's very untidy, very messy, or his bedroom is like a pigsty. It means it's a mess. It's things lying all over the floor, etc. Number 7, a hamster lives in, well again, this would be domestic, in a cage. a cage with metal bars in a cage. And a cow on a farm typically lives, and it's not in the field, of course. It lives in a shed, a cow shed. Okay, so there are obviously differences between domestic and wild animals, because some animals are both domestic and wild in terms of where they live. All right, now we're going to finish to look at what are similes. Many similes we use animals, not always. For example, as dry as a bone is a simile, sorry. Which doesn't use an animal, but very often we use animals. And so what is a simile? It's a figure of speech where two things are compared. We use the word like or as. And here are some examples. They fight like cats and dogs. Or as brave as a lion. As brave as a lion, meaning very brave. So the object of the simile is to spark an interesting connection. And however, sometimes they can be obviously overused, similes. They can become a little cliched, but people still use them, obviously. I'm going to look mainly at, similes with as through these examples rather than like. And these are very common ones. Okay, so match the simile with the animal. So you've got a bat, a beaver, a bee, a fox, a kitten, which is a baby cat, a lamb, a baby sheep, an owl, an ox, a peacock, a sloth, a wolf, and a whale. And here's the first simile, as playful as. So which of these animals do you associate with play? For example, playing with a ball of wool or whatever. And the answer is this, a kitten, as playful as a kitten. As wise as. Which animal is associated with being wise? Wise meaning having knowledge through experience and being able to make good decisions and so on as a result. And the answer is this animal, an owl. It's wise as an owl. I think the origin of this is because the owl in Greek mythology, the goddess Athena, who was the goddess of wisdom, had a companion who was an owl. So I think that's where the association comes from originally. It's wise as an owl. Okay, next one, as blind as. Well, which one of these animals cannot see very well and in fact uses a form of radar almost to get around? And the answer is, of course, a bat. Blind as a bat. In fact, without my glasses, in terms of reading, I'm as blind as a bat. Okay, let's move on to the next. As busy as. So which of these creatures do you associate with lots of activity, non-stop, going, collecting things, bringing them back to its home and so on? And the answer is this little insect, a bee, as busy as a bee. As proud as. Well, this is a creature which is has a very, very spectacular display. It's in fact the male of the species, which has the beautiful feathers, and it is, of course, this bird, the peacock, as proud as a peacock. He was as proud as a peacock when he was awarded the prize. He felt very good about himself. As proud as a peacock. Okay, next one. As eager as. Eager is a word which means very keen or enthusiastic to do things. And the animal we associate with this is the beaver. It's a North American animal. We have a similar animal in Europe, which is the otter, but they're not identical. I think they're related. But as eager as a beaver means it's you're very enthusiastic about doing something. Okay. Next one. As lazy as. Well, we're looking now for an animal which moves extremely slowly. It often hangs from trees, and I believe it lives in the Amazon region. And the answer is this creature. Have you any idea what it is? Well, this is, I think, what we call the three-toed sloth, a sloth. If any of your children or whatever are familiar with the films Ice Age, we have Sid the Sloth as one of the main characters. It's associated with being lazy, not wanting to do anything. As ravenous as. Ravenous means incredibly hungry, desperate to eat. And for this we use this animal, which is associated with having a voracious appetite, as it were. And it is, of course, a wolf. It's ravenous as a wolf. It means you're incredibly hungry and you devour whatever you're given. Okay, as gentle as. Here we're talking about an animal which is very soft, very cute, very child-friendly. And of course, it's the baby sheep, a lamb, as gentle as a lamb. As strong as. Strong as. This is an animal which is was used traditionally and is still used in certain parts of the world, although it's been replaced by mechanical things such as tractors. It's this animal here. You can see in the picture pulling a plough, which is an agricultural tool to make furrows in the land. And it's as strong as an ox. Strong as an ox. As cunning or as sly as. This means clever, but in a very negative sense, in terms of you're always planning, scheming to do bad things. It's actually associated with this animal, which I think is a bit unfair because it's a very beautiful animal and one which is a lot of controversy in the United Kingdom about hunting these animals. It's currently illegal, but the current government wanted to bring back fox hunting. Yes, the fox. As cunning or as sly as a fox. Okay, next one, as big as. Well, here we've got an enormous animal, huge animal, lives in the sea, biggest animal in the world. And of course, this is not the biggest species. This is a humpback, although in the blue version, the blue species is the biggest, the blue whale, as big as a whale. In fact, there's songs which use this. Minnie the Moocher from the Blues Brothers film, she had a heart as big as a whale, and so on. Okay, so that's it for animals today. I hope you found this useful, some useful similes and expressions for you to use. The next lesson, lesson 40, will be a review lesson again, review 8, this time covering lessons 36 to 39. So we'll be covering the animal vocabulary that we've just looked at, as well as the last couple of grammar areas. So please do tune in to the next broadcast, the next video, and I look forward to speaking to you then. Thank you, and bye-bye for now.